If you live in Hudson, St. Lazare, or Vaudreuil area, and you're curious about what's happened to the real estate market as a result of COVID-19, I'm going to go through a few scenarios as well as look at some of the statistics that have dictated what's gone on over the last few months. We'll also get an idea of what to expect in the coming months ahead. So real estate activities, as you may or may not know, were completely suspended as of March 14th, 2020. And that was really tough because normally the spring market is our busiest time of the year. However, this year, because of the pause, we saw a significant decline in transactions and new listings in both March and April. So in this graph, you can actually see that on the left-hand side, which represents 2019, February, March, April, you can see the number of new listings is actually going up and they start to decline after, and that's kind of a normal representation of a spring market. Whereas if you look to the right, in 2020, you can see that January actually started a little bit less new listings, and then February and March were really healthy. We had a lot of new listings hitting the market. We had a really healthy spring market, and a lot of sellers were trying to take advantage of that. And then in April, all of a sudden, we see it completely drop off. Since real estate resumed operations on May 11th, the demand for homes in the area has actually skyrocketed. An example is actually I had this new listing in Vaudreuil. We listed on June 4th at just under 400,000, and we actually had 25 visits in the first 2 days after going live. And for buyers I'm working with, we are often finding ourselves in multiple offer situation, which has pretty much become the norm these days. So what's causing this feverish demand for homes? There's a few core trends actually driving the competition for homes. You'll see in the next few slides, the number of homes available in the market is much lower than normal. So we're in a very low inventory situation. And this is mostly true, especially at the under $500,000 level. So here, you can see in 2019, the number of active listings is just under 500 per month. If you're looking at February and March specifically, and about 450 in January. Fast forward to 2020, and you can see we have a little over 300 active listings in January, and it climbs slightly to March, a little over 300 active listings, which is already much less inventory than we saw in the previous year in 2020. So this lack of inventory is actually forcing buyers to be more aggressive with their offers in order to beat out the competition for the home they want. This ultimately leads to an increase in average prices for homes at most price points. If you look here, we're looking at 2019 average sale price, and we're just shy of 400,000 for the average price in the area. Here's the data where you can see it a little more clearly. You see just shy 384,000 for March, 360 for April, and 386,000 for May. Again, looking at 2020, if you look at January specifically, you can see those averages were just a little higher, which is normal year over year. And then February and March, again, slight increases for the spring market, again, normal increase. But then look at April and May. All of a sudden, the average price point just skyrockets. And here's the data behind it. You can see that we've actually increased about 100,000, which is unprecedented increase year over year for real estate in our area. The pause in the market also led to pent-up demand for these homes. Many buyers who actually not renewed their leases or who had already sold their houses now needed to find a place to live. So when the pandemic put these plans on hold, it forced them to act with more urgency when the market resumed. Again, this leads to seeing more competition in more multiple offer situations faster when new listings hit the market. And this continues to drive the low supply issues and drives the cycle of increasing prices. So the drop in interest rates is also motivating buyers to move sooner than later. They know that if they get their mortgages secure while they're low, they can save tens of thousands of dollars over the course of a mortgage. And finally, with the tragic and frightening situation that has unfolded in senior homes, many seniors who are considering selling their homes now put those plans on hold. It's always difficult to know what the future has in store, but with this unique situation, it's even more difficult to try and predict what will happen in the coming months and years ahead in the real estate industry. Because the situation is so unique, it's impossible to know whether the current market conditions are going to be a short sprint or a more sustained long-term shift in the market. That's why I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on these trends going forward. So if you'd like to stay in the loop and see all the in-depth and homework and analysis I'm going to be doing, just like my page on Facebook or click the link below, enter your email, and you'll be one of the first to get my videos as soon as I release a new one. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, if you have any questions about real estate or about this video, feel free to call me, text me, email me, whatever. I'm always available. My number's right there.